Hey guys, this is Wes with the Something Fancy Project. As you know from our intro video, Andrew and I are civilians, college students, don't have a ton of money. Some of us more than others, but essentially a lot of our gear is going to be reasonably priced unless we think it's worth the money. I think this knife is reasonably priced and worth the money. It's not cheap. I mean, I guess it's cheap for a knife, for a good knife. However, it's not, you know, it's not $10. Like it's not. This Mora knife cost me $11 with shipping, so yeah, it's not that. But completely different knife, completely different manufacturer. There's a reason more knives are cheap, and I'll go into that when I review it. However, this video is about the Kershaw. Let's see if you can see that. I don't think you can. Kershaw Skyline. One of the most excellent pocket carry knives I've ever had the fortune of owning. Everyone who, I don't know, I think everyone should own one, no matter what. But if you're into knives, you should own one. Made in the USA, if that matters to you. It matters to me on a certain level, but if it's worth its salt, if it's made overseas, I'm not gonna knock it for being made in China or Taiwan or wherever. Simply because if you got good quality control, you got good quality control. The materials are the same. You know, workers work hard. Alright, let's get into this knife. So, primary use. Everyday carry, because it's relatively small, no steel liners, no fancy locks or anything. It's just a liner lock with a flipper design. You know, pretty excellent though. It's, like I said, one of the best folders I've ever owned. Actually, not one of the best folder I've ever owned. I own a lot of Kershaws too, so I think it's the best knife they've ever produced, as far as my experience goes. I talked about it being inexpensive. Its MSRP is really high actually for what you can get it. Its MSRP is $74.95, so $75. Honestly, I probably would have paid that for this if I had known how good it was. But looking at it, you're like, what? $75 for that? What are you talking about? It's a 3-inch blade, just over 3 inches. You know, why would you pay $75 for that? I paid $35 for this at Walmart. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I think that was with tax, just under $35. You know, pretty much worth every penny. You can pretty much find it anywhere for around $30. I think Amazon has it for $34 or something, and that's not with shipping, but still, you know, getting this knife for around $40, you'll just love it. If you don't love it, please tell me why, because I just don't see any reason not to. You know, it's really adequate in length. It's only 4 1/4 inches closed, 7 3/8 open. It's only 2.3 ounces. It's super light, guys. If you know, there are lighter knives, but with a blade this big and with that kind of shape, you know, I'm hard pressed to find anything lighter. Flipper deployment, as you saw, some people say it's not that quick. I think it's incredibly quick. Oh, see, I just hit the tripod. Hard to do this on camera. Still new to it. Flipper design, as you can see. Back of the blade, you know, comes out. There's the flipper. Or you can deploy via thumb stud, which I do if I'm not in a hurry, simply because, or if I'm like around people, they'll be like, why did you just flip it out like that? And they get all nervous, especially my sisters, for some reason think it's gonna fly out of my hand I'll go to ergonomics in a bit, but let's talk about the blade, because it's the, you know, really the, if you're gonna buy a knife, if the blade sucks, I don't know why you would buy it, because then it's just a piece of crap. But anyways, modified spear point tip, or shaped blade, excuse me. 3 1/8 inch blade, extremely adequate. Can cut pretty much, you know, I like it. I like the slightly larger blades simply for the reach they give me. Some people like, you know, 2 3/4 inch blades, or that sort of thing. Let's talk about the blade steel. Mine, which is a little bit older, I've owned this knife for about 2 years. It's got a manufacturing date. Let's see if I can even get that to focus. Let's turn the right side up so you can even read it. No, okay. Anyways, January 09. I mentioned that because there's 2 different types of steel that this knife has come in. Simply because of it, a couple of problems with the type of steel mine is made in. I haven't had any problems with it, but the 13C26 Sandvik, that's 13C26, that's pre-April 2009. Any Kershaw made before April 2009 will have that steel. The reason they switched it up is they got reports of it rusting real easy. Some of them were rusting right out of the box. Mine, I have never had a rust spot on it. Of course, I live in a relatively dry area most of the time, though I do live in south central Texas, so sometimes we can get some pretty harsh humidity down here. Nothing like, you know, it's not a rainforest or anything. And we do get tons of heat to blast out all that humidity. But, excuse me, sorry. Next, the newer versions have 14C28N steel. Still Sandvik, still a great steel. The composition of the steel is extremely excellent. For some reason, I was reading up on it, the way that the crystalline structure of the steel is incredibly even. I think you just heard my dog shaking in the back. Sorry if that overrode anything I said. But it's really excellent. But let's move this video along. I won't go too much into knife chemistry here. It's got a hollow ground blade. You just got to get a feel for that. Reduces weight, gives you a nice fine edge. I prefer it on a lot of things, not everything. On fixed blades, I prefer other grinds, but it's really nice. Out of box, extremely sharp. This is not out of box by any means, but I'm not a good steel sharpener yet. I've only been sharpening with a stone for about 2 months, and I just keep touch-ups with my butcher steel, but, and see, that's a little dull, but, see, there you go. You can get nice little, you know, I can cut all day, and it's nice and sharp. It's probably even sharper than that out of the box. This hasn't been touched up for this video or anything. Usually I do. This is actually my 3rd or 4th attempt on this video, simply because I get rambling. But it's pretty great. You know, nice and sharp. Let's go to the handle. Really, another great thing about this blade, really nice and thin. That's because there's no steel liners. Other than, you know, the liner lock. There's no reinforced steel liners. Sorry about the camera, guys. I'm still trying to figure out a good way to set this up. It's G10, medium to light grit. Really, it's whatever you want to call it. It's G10 is what it is the material. For those of you who don't know, G10 is a material that's made out of resin, and essentially they fiberglass and then they soak it with resin, and then it's compressed, and they keep layering it, and they bake it. And it's usually you'll see it in black, but it can come in any color because it's fiberglass. So there's that. Let's talk about this excellent ergonomics of this blade. I have humongous hands. Width of my hand is probably about almost 4 inches. Maybe not quite, but as you can see, well, it's probably about 4 inches, because this is 4 1/4, maybe a little bit under 4 inches, probably 3 3/4, or whatever. But as you see, it fits excellent in my hand, and I got big old sausage fingers. Finger trowel fits perfectly. No jimping on the top. Never been a problem for me. I've done stab tests, I've done cut tests, I've done all sorts of things with this blade. Never choked. I mean, my thumb has probably moved forward a little bit, but really, I mean, I'm pressing pretty hard here. Unless some freak accident, your finger comes loose and you just choke up on that blade and cut yourself. I've never had a problem with it. This is going a little long, so I'm going to sort of hurry it up a little bit here. Reversible pocket clip can go either way. I choose tip down, or excuse me, tip up carry. Some people complain about that because of this little exposed part will stick out of your pocket. I've walked through brush, never had it come off. If Nut and Fancy says he's lost one that way, I believe him. I'm not calling him a liar. Really, however you want to carry it. Tip up, tip down. Not all 4 sides, but that's what you get for, a $30 knife from Kershaw. If it was a $70 knife like its MSRP, if you paid $70 for it, you probably get all 4 sides. It's also, I was looking at Nut and Fancy's SHOT Show. The reason that they couldn't do, a better clip design is because this knife was one of the designer's newer designs, and they didn't want to spend a lot of money on it. Simply because they weren't sure how it was going to do. I don't know why they haven't updated it yet, but I would really like to see, a hook over style pocket clip. But, for what it does, I've never had a problem with it. Liner lock, as I've said, really easy. Some people freak out with liner locks if they don't know blades, because they're like, why are you closing it right near your finger? I'm like, if you know what you're doing, you're not going to cut yourself. Only criticism I have of this blade, and it's not a big one, not a flow-through design, semi-flow-through, but it's got that plastic spacer right there. So really, it's just me being picky, and I can't have everything I want because I'm a whiny little baby. The Kershaw Crown has a full flow-through design. However, it's a lot thicker, which annoys me. I don't know. I'm not a knife maker, so I don't know what happens with that, but it does. I'll review it. It's a really nice knife, also, but I like my Skyline. Sorry about that, guys. I had a phone call and a garbage truck in the background. But anyways, let's do the overview real quick. Kershaw Skyline, excellent blade. Nice medium of the road steel. Excellent handle. Great ergonomics. Super light. Good value. I can't say enough good things about this knife. And let's go before there are any more interruptions. Thanks so much for watching. We're gonna try and get a video out once a week here. Happy belated MLK Day. I was supposed to put this out yesterday, but I didn't. Anywho, thanks a lot, guys. Hope you all view this. Also check out Nut and Fancy's review on it, and I believe Cutlery Lover has a view on it. There's tons of others. Cutlery Lover is an excellent knife reviewer. He shares a lot of the same sentiments as I do. Some are different, but his stuff is great. Nut and Fancy, while obviously our name is inspired by him, some of his videos are a little long for us, but he's got a lot to say. I'm not criticizing him at all. He does what he does really well, and obviously his pages will show that. All right, thanks guys. You have a wonderful day. Come see us again.